poppin'? It's your boy DJ The Don, and then we are here at the lounge. You know, I'm very excited just because, you know, I got someone that is hilarious for one. You know, for one, like, she doesn't dabble in comedy, but she has to, because there's no way that she's this goofy. You know, and not in comedy some way, but, you know, with introduction, this is Miss Auset, you know what I'm saying? Offset, you know.
Oh my gosh. So you know Drewski, right?
Yeah.
You guys know Drewski?
Oh yeah.
So growing up, I actually, so he went to like a different high school than I did, but he would always come into my job. I used to work at McDonald's, and he is the one who started calling me Offset. So people would call me Ostrich. Don't. They would call me Ostrich. They would call me, yes, Asset. And he started saying, Offset, when they let you out? I'm like, let me out of where? I am at McDonald's. Like, where did I go? And then that's when I found out about the Migos. And I was like, oh. And so now everyone thinks it's
What do you mean you just found out about the Migos? How long ago was this?
No, back when like, in my high school days, like, I had just found out about the Migos. Like, okay, the type of music I listen to, like, you guys might laugh at me.
Yeah, let's dabble in this real quick. We're talking about you finding out about the Migos. You're behind. So let's talk about what music.
My name, he started calling me Offset. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, can I take your order? Like, that was my thing. And now it's been like this running joke. Everyone's like, oh, Offset. I'm like, no.
Where is he from?
Who? Drewski? I don't know where he's from, but he grew up in Georgia. He might be from Georgia. But
so are you from Georgia? You lived in Georgia for a period of time?
I lived in Georgia. You can technically say that I'm from Georgia.
So you ain't claiming Georgia. You like, I mean, I guess.
No, I was born in Chicago, good old Cook County. Ooh, the ghetto. But I grew up down in Georgia. Okay. Good old suburbs.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then now you're in San Antonio now. Is that permanent? Like you trying to be in San Antonio?
No. I have to get out of San Antonio. I like it, don't get me wrong. I love Texas. And now I see what the hype is about. My Texas, and don't mess with. I'm like, shut the hell up.
Now you understand the cockiness now?
Now I understand the cockiness.
I still don't. I'm not from here. I don't understand why.
Do you like it?
I mean, it's chill. I mean, I think that it just being in Austin's probably the issue.
Really?
If I was living in Dallas or Houston, there'd probably be a lot more pride.
Oh, no.
Well, it's just a demographic thing. There's not a lot of our people in Austin, so therefore, you know, I feel like I have to go to Dallas or Houston just to get a little bit of culture.
There's not a lot of our people down in San Antonio either, so I felt like more.
But that goes without saying. So when I think San Antonio, I'm not thinking of a group of places.
But there's bases everywhere, so that's the only reason why I'm in Texas, and I like Texas because it is the #1 vet-friendly state. So for sure.
So you know, we're talking social media. Social media is obviously prominent in our generation, and you know, it's something that is just very difficult to accomplish. And I feel like, you know, you have somewhat had some success into this endeavor, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram. You know, so how do you feel about, you know, social media right now as far as your brand?
Well, with my brand, like you said, it definitely is something that's very important, because like as an actress and as a model, no one really knows the product that you're selling. You are the brand, you are the product. So it's like you have to have some way to put yourself and market yourself out there, because otherwise you're just showing up to castings, auditions, like, I'm here. They're like, okay, well, so is everybody else, to the back of the line.
Right.
But using your social media as a platform to be able to reach, you know, tens of thousands of people, thousands of people. It's really powerful. I like it. I actually started only with having, you know, a couple thousand followers. Now I'm my little way up, but it's definitely really impactful. But there is some good and bad to social media. The things that I come across, good Lord. Things that I come across, it's terrible.
Well, let's talk about the good. You know what I'm saying? What are the good things that come with social media? Not only now, but, you know, when you were just growing up as well, because it's been there forever, you know, honestly. Probably your whole childhood for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, social media has always been there. You know, like we were talking about earlier, MySpace, that was my thing. Fireflies, that was my thing.
That's a whole separate talk
tell me
as to why Fireflies is your theme song on MySpace.
That's why I said my music genre is a little bit different than everyone else's.
What we thought was a phase for us, that was a lifestyle.
It was a lifestyle. Thank you. It was my lifestyle, and no one can take that away from me. So it's like, when people look at me now, they're just like, you listen to this? I'm like, yeah, I like it. They're like, okay, this is you? I'm like, yeah, I like dubstep.
With pride. With pride.
No, but like since growing up, you know, with MySpace, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of this, it's been a really big influence. I would say good because, you get to share some of your greatest accomplishments. I get to share my journey with others and really inspire a lot of people. Like, you don't realize how many people are actually watching you until you actually start making moves. Like, until I started modeling and acting, you won't believe the amount of DMs and messages I get. Hey, I've watched you since so-and-so. Can you teach me how to do this, or how do you do that? I'm like, you've been watching me? Me? Like, oh, flips hair. Like, yeah, of course. Like, I would love to. So that's really what I like about social media. That's the good that kind of comes out of it, is being able to reach hundreds of thousands of people in different ways, because you don't know who your friends know. And so them sharing your stuff to certain or different areas is like amazing.
So we're talking social media, and Auset, you were saying that it has its good and bad. So what are the good that comes from social media? Not only now as your brand, just in general, as far as your time using social media.
Wow, I could talk about the bad all day, but honestly, the good.
That's why I wanted to get you in this.
Nah, the good with it, it's really impactful. So being able to reach tens of thousands of people, that some of who I know, but others who I don't necessarily know, and being able to either inspire or motivate and show them, what I'm doing on my journey, how I'm doing it, and just really being truthful is really the good that comes from it, at least in my experience. You'll be surprised by the number of people who will message me, hey, I see you're doing well. I see you're doing X, Y, and Z. You're with this agency. I see you in acting classes. Look at you. You're on the treadmill in your heels. Like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, that's
that
me.
Was the most hilarious video I've seen.
Oh, the treadmill
with
the heels. I found another model. She actually took my advice and was doing the treadmill. I was like, do not do it at this speed. I was like, I naturally walk kind of fast, so I'm trying to slow it down. But that just goes to show, it's like, dang, people are actually watching me. It's not just a fake view. So I like getting that positive feedback from people. And I saw this big brand try and try and do the same treadmill and heels, and she had a wine glass with some bread, and she was walking all slow. I'm just like, not you biting, not you trying to be like me. I was like, just stop it.
Yeah, you should have hit
Tag me,
yeah, right. Give me my credit.
I know. But but that just goes to show that people are literally, watching you, good, bad, and ugly. But you really have to be able to decipher who's truly supporting you, who's not, because you will have that fake love. You will have that fake love.
Elaborate on that fake love.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
So she's trying to dabble into this bag. She's trying to sneak her way into the bag.
I know, right? No, but you guys poured me up just fine. This is nice. No, but seriously, okay, so it's good to have supporters. I'll say, my day ones. The 3 friends that I do have, they're always supporting, and I don't have to ask them to, share, comment, whatever.
Yeah.
But you'll have those fake supporters who will look at your stuff but not comment or say anything. It's I see you looking. Why don't you like it? It's I like your stuff, and that's just because I'm genuinely a nice person. I really want the best for everybody when it comes to their social media.
Well, you want the reciprocity. You want to reciprocate and have that general connection. And when that doesn't happen, it's okay, well, what did I do not to get that reciprocated? But I'm genuinely being cool with.
But then when you guys are face to face, it's oh, I see you. I said, I bet you do. I bet you do. But you didn't like.
You gotta look at it as a positive, man. Once you get to a point where you can monetize off of it, those views count just same as currency as a like. So just be yo, thanks for even skimming through. Lurkers get me paid too. So.
I like now on Instagram, you don't even have to have 10,000 followers to monetize. So I was just oh wow.
When did that happen?
I don't know when it happened, but I know that it's happening. So the algorithm changes all the time. So yeah, you don't have to have 10,000 followers to monetize. I think I saw 2 or 3 people mention that to me. Actually, one of my brand managers mentioned that to me. She's you don't need 10,000 followers. And I was just oh, okay.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well then. But
how long have you been acting?
I have now been acting. I actually started with, it's so crazy because many people ask me a lot about modeling. I'm just like, not that I'm trying to get away from modeling, but I started with acting. And because I wasn't necessarily the best actress and knowing how to do it, I was like, I kind of want to model too, you know, just to kind of get in front of the camera, develop my confidence, all that. But it's been about 2 years now. 2 years. And this year, 2022, I am dedicating it all to acting. I will still do modeling, but you gotta cough it up. I'm not doing that.
You know, so what kind of projects have you done recently in the 2 years, or do you have any projects that are coming up this year for where you're going to dabble in acting?
So, projects over the past 2 years have kind of been really sporadic. From runway shows, I did Texas Fashion Week. I did a show in Dallas. Like my very first ever like modeling show was in LA, and oh boy, it was a little scary and nerve-wracking. When people ask me like, how did I do it, or where did I start? I was like, I literally just did it. Like I walked out on stage and just did it. Like,
right.
I didn't
what
ask
was the support
anybody.
off of that on social media?
It was honestly like 50-50. I didn't get a lot of woo, you go girl, but I got enough. And honestly, you have to have thick skin with social media because there's this thing now to where someone my age is doing the exact same thing but at a more accelerated rate. I have to be like them. So we have like this societal standard of I need to be here. She's 23. She's making $10 million a day or a year. It's just like, no, you don't.
Oh, I need to beat the person $10 million a day. Like,
well, maybe that's a bit exaggerating, but you have all these, wonderful creatives who are accelerating, like I said, with their social media, and so it puts a lot of pressure on us who are still up and coming. It's like, dang, how do you do this? How do you do that?
I agree. I mean, my number one thing is, it's not really like the bad, but it's something that you learn with social media is that, you got to kind of just meet yourself where you at. And there's I try to go back to like documentaries and stuff, but like when you see where people are when they first start out, the hunger that they have and how genuine they want to make connections and be around people. When you interact with people that are already at the place that they're at, and they're way past you, they treat you like it. And that's where I get offended because I'm just like, bro, like, we talked beforehand, you said that, you need the following because when you need roles and stuff like that, you don't fall like a number. But when it comes to creativity and talent, like a number of follows does not genuinely showcase your talent. There are people with 300 followers that actually are one of the most talented people, but they just can't work social media. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem that we have with this generation because we like symbolize someone by their Instagram name or how many followers they have, and it's just like, man, that like I don't need these followers to feel value, and I think that's when we truly evolve as people, when we stop comparing ourselves based off of someone else's social media following. In fact, you're like, bro, I'm just talented. And if it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. But I mean, like, when do you go back to basics of being like, okay, what do we do before social media?
I know, like interacting with people. But really, it's really a mindset, like you said, about someone could have 200, 300 followers and be like more talented than, Zendaya or whoever else right now. Not that she would ever do something like this. The queen would never. But those people, who have those low following counts, are overlooked than people who are, who have tens of thousands of followers. So it's really a mindset of knowing the value that you bring. And like I said before, you have to have thick skin because you're not going to get the support and love necessarily because everyone's not good at marketing. Everyone's not good at following, algorithms. Like, what the heck?
They change underwear. Like, it's crazy.
Like these broads, I tell you. Seriously, it changes like crazy. And it's so much to keep up with, especially with maintaining a normal, regular life. It's like, yes, this is model actress Auset, but I still gotta pay the bills, honey. Like, sometimes I have a job. Right now, I don't. I'm done working like full-time acting and modeling, but it's like I still have stuff to do. Like,
how was that sacrifice? To stop, having like a 9-to-5 and just fully pursuing. It's a lot of people that kind of struggle with that aspect of scared to make that start. Like, oh man, like, what do I look like just quitting my job and just going and doing it 100%? How do I pay my bills? How do I, what do you have to say about that?
So we kind of have to take it back to the root at that. And from young, little adolescents, from children, we are trained and brought up to go to school, get a job, work really, really hard, get a degree. And, you make something of yourself. And so that's kind of what I did, up until the military. I, had a job. I was a general manager at good old Panda, and leaving, that was some great money, like great money for a single person.
Right.
And for me to put in my 2-week notice and like, hey, I need to finish my degree and work on me and do what makes me happy. It was hard. Like, I literally cried. Even now, looking back on it, I'm not bringing in $90,000 a year no more. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Panda does pay. I know that much. Yeah.
Oh, really? How you know? Let me know.
I'm a restaurant manager. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, I check
so
LinkedIn.
You know.
I just don't. I'm an integrity thing. I'm huge on service, so I can't work at Panda. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just who I am. Like, I need the whole 5-star interaction with people and not just like fast food. And everybody has a different preference, but like I was studying it for years, like 16 years
For
old.
restaurant management?
Just I used to do like culinary competitions, used to do the food and beverage competitions, and like just doing like 5-star service, Caesar's tableside, all this other stuff. And it's just like, I was always intrigued by that rather than like, oh, I'm just gonna make the most money by working at, like, I'm pretty sure a manager at Applebee's make more than me, like, honestly.
What made you get into having like those 5-star experiences and competitions and stuff? That's interesting.
I had to make a decision because I really wanted to play football. You know what I'm saying? I was huge on like going full force with football, but I was always intrigued by the art of food. Like, even when I was younger, me and my cousin would watch Food Network until like 3 a.m. and just like.
What was your show on Food Network? If you say the wrong one, you're off the show.
No, I used to watch Emerald. Like, Emerald was my stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was when I was younger. Then it was like Good Eats afterward.
Okay, Good Eats is good. What about Ace of Cakes?
No, I don't do baking. I don't do baking shows. It's
not
just
the ghetto.
Not the ghetto.
What?
No, because I know I'm not a person that can bake. It's too technical. Like, if you need 2 cups of sugar, it needs 2 cups of sugar. Yeah. I'm like, I'm a little sprinkle of this, a little dash of that, and then it comes like it's a pancake. So,
flat.
I'm not that, and so, I know we got off tangent, but it's just like something that comes with art, like looking at everything in an art form. And, when I manage now, it's like, don't take the integrity of the art of service. And that's something that our generation has lost, because when you find a server, it's very hard to find a great server who is young, because they don't look at it like it's an art. They look at it like it's a
paycheck.
Yeah, a job. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna make this money, I'm gonna leave. Like, nah, bro, you're disrespecting the art. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what kind of got me intrigued by that.
That's nice. Well, to kind of answer your question, like in one quick motion, it was not easy. I made like a whole like little YouTube video on it, but what I did was I had a plan. I was like, okay, look, you have to think of, when following your dreams and doing what makes you happy, you have to think of that as an escape route from an abusive ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, or something. Okay, I need to make a plan. How do I get away from this toxic or stressful environment? Okay, I need to save this much money. I need to pay off my debt. Once these are done, okay, I can leave, or whatever your plan, requires. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, okay, I'm done. It was, tears were shed, but I knew that my happiness and my stress didn't belong within what I was doing. I then picked up, a second job, but I was like, actually, working is hood. I can't.
It's ghetto.
It's ghetto.
No, working is ghetto. Like, hey, Henry Ford, I got words for you when this camera goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, this 5-day work week thing is ghetto. You know what I'm saying? 50 to 40 hours is ghetto. You know what I'm saying? How are you able to, you were saying that social media was very tedious because of time, like, how are you able to manage personal life with also having, a social media presence?
So that's what kind of draws in with the working as well. Like, I couldn't have a good social media presence while still working 10, 12-hour shifts. So I had to cut one of those off. I said, okay, I don't need stress, so goodbye. Yeah. But once now that I have more time open to focus on my social media presence, I have to now learn the skill and the craft in order to compete with everybody else.
Right.
It's like, okay, I look up to whoever, I don't know, Allison Peckerwood or whatever, I don't know. I don't know, like Jimbo. Okay, I look up to him or her, and what are they doing in their social media? Okay, they're creating a reel, they're doing this. Who's willing to, coach or guide me on how to do this? You can't just do social media. You really have to, one, be really consistent, but you also have to learn, like you said, like the craft of food. You have to learn the craft and the skill, because these people, the followers didn't come overnight. The support didn't come overnight. They took time to research. They did a lot of research.
Yes. They did a lot of research. And it's a lot of testing out stuff. Like, obviously, there's most people that are like, oh yeah, I'm only going to show you these 13 or 14 posts. They won't show you the 120 that they took before they got to that point of, oh yeah, I only got 10 followers, I only got 10 likes, I only got 13, so it's just like, it's the long game, honestly, and you have to be okay with the long game if you don't have the luck of going viral overnight, And
that's another thing that I kind of hate sometimes too, with like trying to genuinely learn the craft from somebody. A lot of people gatekeep, and it's like, why are we all gatekeeping? And I get it, we're wanting to have the bread for ourselves or have the bag for ourselves, but it's enough for everybody to eat.
Instagram got enough bread to pay anybody.
Exactly. I'm just like, do y'all know how much money this man is sitting on? We have enough money to do it. So it's like, I don't like people that gatekeep, and that's one thing, like when people come to me for advice, I'm not about to gatekeep it, because guess what? It's statistically proven that the information you give someone, only 1% of the people are going to use it. Right. So it's like, okay, I'll teach you, but are you going to do it?
Exactly. And that's the thing, like the gatekeeping thing is huge to me, because I even have colleagues and friends that were like, oh yeah, like I like that filter. How do you find that filter? And then I don't get a response. They respond to me any other time. But then it's like, oh, when I'm asking for help in something, I'm like, oh no, like, I'm not going to give that to you because I'm better than you at this sense. And it's like that competition mentality gets us nowhere. If you build a network of people that actually have each other's back, like, bro, we would go much further. But that's the issue, is that this envious stage that a lot of people are at, what is the point? Like, just give us the same resources. It's not like I'm going to grow at the same time as you. Sometimes I think it's the fact that, like, what if you gave them the resources and they grew up fast, like grew up higher than you? You know what I'm saying? Or it happened faster than you. And it's just like, okay, well, if that's the case, if you met with this person, they're genuine, you don't think they're going to bring you up with them. That's how reciprocity comes. Like, they're not going to, oh, I'm going to leave you down there that you gave me the keys. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, just be genuine. Like, nothing can hurt being genuine. If you're yourself 100% of the time, and if you take that loss, at least I knew I was being myself. They hurt themselves. They hurt their reputation, and they're going to continue hurting reputations. But no one can say anything about your reputation if you're 100% genuine.
That's what I tell all of my close friends. I'm like, look, the relationship that you build, especially even through social media or day-to-day interactions, you need to treat them as gold, especially when dabbling or even getting into the entrepreneurial game. As an actress and model, I'm still considered an entrepreneur, because it's like, my body is the brand. I am marketing. So it's like, anyone who I encounter or build a relationship with, or who I work with, you never know who you might need one day, or they might need you. So it's like, why are we burning bridges? Right. You know what I mean? It's no point in burning bridges, because you're hurting relationships. And when you do, make it to the top, it's like, oh no, you got all these little X, Y, and Z's, and people who are, oh well, you were X, Y, and Z, or you were so mean doing that. But I always hold my relationships with people really close to myself, especially through social media, because they only know you from your post.
Right. So the kid Lex, man, you brought these beautiful drinks, man. Like, what are these? My man's in the back calling them cute, and I'm taking this disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I really don't sit well with the cute talk, because it's a drink. You know what I'm saying? So whoever in the background talking, he's talking about it's cute. You know what I'm saying? We got to have conversations in the back.
I mean, are they not? They're pink and cute and pretty.
Hey, man, I don't need another grown man to tell me it's cute. You know what I'm saying? These are very masculine drinks on the table. You know what I'm saying? Masculine. Yeah, I'm going to be feminizing my drink that I'm drinking.
Look, we don't do any gender roles when it comes to drinking alcohol. Right? It all tastes the same. It all makes you feel the same. No, we have a blueberry dream here. So this is a blueberry mint syrup, lime juice, Tito's vodka, and champagne.
So that's 2 alcohols.
Why are you keeping up? Don't keep up with that. You just
said,
drink it.
Ooh, Lord.
Well, 2 alcohols don't mean a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. That's
okay.
True. But in this one, it's a lot.
Right. It doesn't necessarily mean it, but for this one, it does.
That one specifically, not mine, yours. That's why yours is clearer than
Right,
mine.
the lighter one.
Yeah, the lighter one.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you wanna? I'll let you do the honors.
It's good, man. It's real good.
Oh
yeah, sure.
Or you need me to taste it for you?
I'm scared.
She act like she's gonna get like drunk off this little sip.
I can like smell the bubbles. Ooh. Wait, hold on. Oh.
It's light.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Gotta check the
you have to actually drink it and not like
sip it.
right.
Okay. I'm over here. What are
Like
you
it's
doing?
catnip or something.
Why are you giving her a tutorial on how to drink this drink?
Drink it.
Oh my God! Like my cheeks are burning. Oh.
So we got a lightweight here, people. You know what I'm saying? She only drinks water. You know what I'm saying? Water.
Good job, Lex.
Thank you.
So Lex, man, social media, you know, I'm not taking you for the most proclaimed social media person, but I know that you know about social media.
I don't want to share my, my light with everyone.
You know, but what's your viewpoint on social media, not only as, you know, the entrepreneur that you are, but as well as, you know, your personal endeavors and, you know, even in marriage and everything. So
yeah, definitely. So one of the things when I got married was just really making my life a little bit more private. So that's when I kind of start getting out of the social media phase and just keeping it literally just more family. As far as an entrepreneur go, definitely social media is something that you need to have if you're going to be that entrepreneur. It's kind of like just
a necessity.
It's a necessity. It's like we're the pinnacle of what you need to have in order to be successful as an entrepreneur. I think for entrepreneurship, social media is great. It's amazing. I think everybody should do it. Personally, I don't think it's great. I think it definitely needs to be more restrictions on our children. We definitely need to have more restrictions on the things that come out that are able to show. And also just as a family, we need to, I think we kind of get away from it and say, oh, this is my cousin that lives in another state or my brother that lives in another state. Oh, I see him on social media. We've interacted or liked the photo.
Not the genuine aspect.
Right, and that's the thing that kind of bothers me. And, you know, I've had these talks with my family for the last 3 years. Like, we needed FaceTime. Like, you remember that thing that came out like 10 years ago on the iPhone 4 or something like that? Like, we could just FaceTime instead of me seeing your brand new baby on Instagram or something like that. Like, oh, you cute, baby. Like, tap, you know, like, no, you know, we could FaceTime and stuff like that.
It's intriguing that, like, you know, social media is, well, this life that we live, and it's been like this forever, is that it's based off of convenience. Everything, like food convenience, you know, all these delivery service convenience, everything we endure in life is based off of convenience. So they had to make the iPhone and anything as far as social media based off of convenience. So that's why, like, when everybody thinks that they're so busy to where they can't have a genuine interaction with like a family member, as simple as a family member. And, you know, like FaceTime, we can't FaceTime because we ain't got time, you know. So I gotta scroll down and find out somebody just got married that I've known for 12 years. Like, dang, bro, I ain't get no, you know, invite to the wedding,
no FaceTime invite or nothing.
Or you know, oh, I didn't get a chance to send a gift because I didn't know, or you know, just having those interactions like, oh man, I forgot to call you, I forgot to text you, or something like that. It's just like social media and this lifestyle that we live, because it's so
prevalent
to be convenient. It's just, that's the issue with social media. Like, it's not used in doses. It's not used in, how do you say it, moderation. Like, we can't be on social media just for a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and be genuine with everybody else, you know.
I mean, it's a real addiction. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's a real addiction to the point where, you know, in the future, there's going to be addiction camps, right? Rehab. For
not an addiction camp.
That's wild to think about, but I can see
for social media. I mean, how many times do you just pick up your phone for no reason at all and you just
thought it vibrated and it didn't even vibrate?
Right, it's going off.
That's PTSD. That's a form of PTSD.
It's going off, and then even like on your phone. Sorry, Android users, I don't know if you have this, but for iPhone, if you swipe to the
like
right,
the pettiest
Android users.
If you swipe to the right, it shows you, you know, your usage, and you can see all your social media usage. It's always high. So you had 2-3 hours in the day to be on social media, but not 2-3 hours to contact a loved one, FaceTime.
When you put it like that,
you know, and you have to.
You know what's wild is that iPhone be snitching, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? If I've been on Instagram for 4 hours, just watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You think I don't know? Like, you know?
How do you balance? You brought up a really good point. How do you balance between, you know, being an entrepreneur and your family life?
right? You have to budget your time, just like you budget your finances, and you write everything down on a piece of paper or on your computer or iPhone, and you write down your budget. This is how much I make per month. These are my bills per month. This is the same thing with time. Working from home, I do this a lot as well, but I write out a daily planner for the day before. So the day before, I write down, I need to go to the gym. I need to do this. Oh, I got 1 hour of time at 4 p.m. Let me see what my brother's doing back in Cleveland. And
that's great.
He just had a baby.
That's like amazing, because I feel like I don't know if it's just my priorities. I also don't know if it's just, I feel like I'm so overwhelmed and busy that any free time I have is made for rest. I can't even, because I don't schedule rest in. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh, I got 3 hours, I'm resting, I'm not doing nothing, don't call my phone, it's on D&D, nothing. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, I'm like, man, I wonder how my grandma's doing.
Right. And
I wonder how, my cousin's doing.
As an entrepreneur, you do have that motivation to do it. Look what you're doing now. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur quitting your job. So that same effort that you're putting into that, like, you have the power to make that budget, even if it's for 10 minutes or for 5 minutes, part-time, something is better than nothing.
You brought up a really good point. I like that. I'm going to start like budgeting in, like talking to, my family members, because like you said,
I feel like your girl gonna be mad, like, oh, I'm in your budget. Like, you know how parents be? Oh, I'm in your budget now.
It's all time for me.
Now you all of a sudden got it on paper.
But it's so sad, but it's the truth. It's like you got to get it in where you can fit in.
Right.
But if I have to fit it in, on black and white, then hey, so be it, until like I can mature enough to
make it a routine.
To make it a routine, like a habitual thing. So thank you for that tip. I actually needed that.
I think older, like not super older, but honestly, older people.
Like you.
Wow! Yeah, you was?
Oh, sorry. The liquor. Oh my God.
It's the bubbles. It's the bubbles.
What year is it? Because there's no way.
The liquor. It's getting to me.
No, like for real. Okay, older people like myself. Older than me, then.
Like you literally just crack, like get up. You like, oh.
Hey man, my foot fell asleep, man.
And see,
like,
only old people do that. Like
foot fell asleep. You know what I mean? I must have hit a nerve or something. You know what I mean?
Only old people say that. That's what I'm saying. Just like,
I got my cataracts. You know?
Not doing legs.
Bro.
Oh no, now he's
doing legs.
You know what? Listen, I had a goal for my upper body to look a certain way. I want to be top heavy.
Here comes the excuses.
Right, you picked up this table with one arm.
Oh my God.
No, but older folks, they don't understand. They honestly get offended because they be like, oh, why don't you make time for us?
Yeah.
And times are different. When you were in that era, like, there was nothing as extracurricular that could take your time away other than the newspaper.
Right.
Being completely honest. You know what I'm saying? Be completely honest. Like, people had 9 to 5s, then there were also ladies that either worked or they were at home all day. They could be on the phone if they wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Right. But at the same time, both genders, both like anybody they all have 9 to 5s.
True.
Or they're entrepreneurs, or they're like rent is not $200. Rent is not $200. Rent is not $300. Rent is $2,700. So
it's not the traditional way of like one's at home, one's like
And so stepping out of your perspective and understanding how way of life has changed. We don't have a house that's paid off yet. We don't have anything. We're still building towards those goals and aspirations. And it takes twice as long than possibly that some people, like other people in past generations, have taken to get to that type of success.
Yeah.
And we're hungry for it. Right. And so it's not, oh yeah, I didn't make time for you. It's like, bro, I ain't even grasped the amount of time yet. We ain't learned that in school, how to prioritize
proper time management. And that's one skill that, like, I used to put this on my resume all the time, like growing up, not really knowing what it was. Oh yeah, I can manage my time. Actually, I can't even manage to feed myself, so I don't know how to manage my time.
And I'm actually late every day.
I'm actually late. So I'm really careful about putting that like on resumes or anything now. I'm just like, you need something done, I can let me know a time, because my paycheck's going to depend on it. But budgeting like my own time, oh no.
Yeah, no, I'm not there.
I'll be lucky if I feed myself twice a day.
Well, that's dope, Lex. I appreciate you, man, for your time.
Of course, just always here to drop gems and jewels.
Thank
the
you.
wise. So what makes me old and him young? I just need to figure out what's going on. I just need to know the demographic. Like that you.
Well, I would say that y'all are kind of the same. Y'all got like facial hair and.
Oh, so people with facial hair are old.
Well, no.
Okay, now we're getting the barometer here. Okay.
And then
cool.
Well, you got the bifocals on.
They trifocals, actually. I can see this.
But, and then I classify like adults like in the real world like.
What are you?
No,
like, what is going
seriously,
on?
Like, hear me out. Like, you guys are real adults. Like, you're married. Like, you're paying your bills. I'm just like, oh.
You don't know what we paying.
Y'all paying something.
I pay my bills.
You
don't know what we paying.
I'm good.
Y'all got
He said, let's get this on the record.
Right. I'm always good.
Where the camera at? Like, which one?
Like, IRS, I just paid.
He's telling Mariah, like, hey, man, I did pay that bill. Like,
he's like, it was just a podcast. It's just a podcast. No, but seriously, me, man, I'm not going to get
So do
into
you feel, I mean.
I don't feel like not necessarily a real adult.
So how old are you?
Who, guess?
No, I'm not doing that.
30.
You 30?
I'm 30.
You're 30.
Yeah.
Stop. That's crazy.
How old do you think we are?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if
I'm not 30, but y'all at least creeping like mid-30s, I would say.
Both of us? Both of us? Yo.
Okay, I'll say 35.
Both of us?
35, max. 35, 36.
Oh, well, I'm actually at 35, so.
Okay, see?
That's okay.
I'm 27. Oh! That's why I'm offended. I'm sitting there like, yo!
Well, you're just so well put together and stuff. I'm just like, I have to go to my dad's house to make sure I eat like a poor college student. I'm just
what is going on with your life?
It's so stressful.
There's like, can you put a number at the bottom of the line just to support? Bottom of the screen.
If you would like to support.
If you want to send 2 cents to Auset, you know, for a meal for mashed potatoes,
like you should have seen like my dad. He took me out to eat one time, like literally like last week. He saw the way I was eating the edamame. He's like, "Auset, when's the last time you ate?" I said, "Dad,
days.
Don't ask me a question like this. I am stressed."
So are you symbolizing success based on where you are at life and basing it off of other people?
I base my success off of my happiness.
Okay.
Right now, I base my success off of happiness. At one point, it definitely was, my bank account value, but success right now is my happiness and being like actually having the ability to chase my dreams and give it all that I got. Because when I do get tied down and have other like adult obligations like you guys, there won't be much chasing, Mm-hmm. It's like I have other priorities at this point in my life. So right now I would say that I am definitely pretty successful for where I am. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty successful where I'm at, but
why do you feel like we're more successful than you are?
I don't know, because I see like you guys are like adults, like making like I have a planner and stuff, but like I don't plan like my time to like call my grandmother and stuff. I'm like, oh man, that's
neither
so
do
smart.
I. My grandma probably hot. My grandma is hot.
Like
I mean,
like that's like some mature like adult stuff.
Right. But that's what everybody has their priorities. It is what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a priority.
My priority since being married is more family, being interactive with more family.
And my priority is more, and it's not saying that he's not, but mine's always been driven towards success. I've been like this since I was 16. Just like I can forget about family sometimes just because of the fact that I'm so driven towards this goal.
And that's kind of how I feel like with you.
And that's exactly how I was before I got married.
Okay.
To where the point I was like, this doesn't matter as much as me making the time, or even I'm still driving for success, but if not getting level 10 of success to be with my family or be in their life means I only get to level 8, that's okay.
Which, how you're 35, how old were you when you got married?
32.
Okay, I'm 27. I got 4 years to go based off his barometer. You know what I'm saying? I'm in his mindset.
Right.
Like we're at the same point in life. I've been married recently, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, like there's a lot of development and growth that I'm at to where I still need to learn, you know what I'm saying? And mature in certain aspects. But I am not going to feel like I'm any less success than somebody else based off of where they are in life, because they could be lacking in something that I have strengths in.
But you know what? You bring up a good point too, because I was also married at one point, but when, like, I'm trying to circle this back to social media, you know how I was saying earlier that there's also like the mindset of like comparison, like so-and-so is like at this point in their life and like saying like, dang, what am I doing? Sometimes I still struggle with that. Like I'll be upfront honest, even with like my supporters. I'm like, look, I'm still struggling with this right now, but I know a way out. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm there yet. So sometimes when I do see like people like you guys, just paying your bills.
He's like at the bar high on us.
You guys,
He's like, damn.
At this point, I just think everybody, I'm just like, if you can feed yourself 3 square meals a day and like pay your bills on time, it's like, wow, you are doing what America has told you you're supposed to do in
Yeah,
life.
that's American dream.
Me, I can't feed myself 3 times a day. I'm banging, Dad, let me in. I'm banging on his door as he looks through the peephole to let me in.
Like, you sure I want to let this girl in?
Literally, and trying to finish my homework. Like I graduate this October, but it's tough. It's not easy.
What are you majoring in?
Healthcare management.
Why?
Oh, there you go.
So, are you guys familiar with Ben Carson?
Oh, yeah. I want to hear this one.
Oh, okay. So Ben Carson, growing up, so
It's my uncle. Like, just get you I
was just like, what were you gonna say about my uncle?
No.
Ben Carson really always inspired me because I watched his movie, read the book Gifted Hands, and I was just like, oh, he's so successful, and I want to be another person that frees Siamese twins on one beating heart. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. But then he's like this radical Republican. I was like, oh God.
You just switch gears.
Yeah, no, but once when I was in the military, there was no way, because I was majoring in biochemistry, there was no way that I could have done clinicals and done like what I needed to do to become an actual neurosurgeon while still maintaining my career in the military. It's just like, not right now. So I decided to just switch my major to healthcare management because I still want to be in the healthcare field, and I always envision myself in some way, shape, or form. I don't care if it's with acting, modeling, in the secular world, not secular world, but like in the white collar world, high, like CEO, board of directors, somewhere high. So it's like, I decided to do healthcare management. It's like,
so if you were acting, you would want to be like on Grey's Anatomy or something, like someone wearing ties together,
what's that?
New Amsterdam or
no, what's that show with? She always cries ugly. Kerry Washington.
Oh,
Scandal.
Yes.
You want to be on Scandal?
Yes. She's like, what did I say? I'm just like, yes.
You know what's crazy? You were saying ugly crowd. I was thinking Viola Davis. I don't know why. Because she got the ugliest crowd. She got the snot nose coming out during How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Kerry Washington doesn't have a great actor.
I'm just saying.
I didn't say that.
You said Kerry Washington's not a great actor.
She does her. I'm watching Scandal right now. I know. That's how she does. And she a homewrecker on there. On the whole show, she's having sex with the president, which is wild.
Okay, well maybe I wasn't inspired to be like
literally the whole show. She said she wanted to roll like that. You know what I'm saying? She don't want to be her.
You want to be her? Oh, you want to play that part?
She wants to play that part.
Like a part.
Like no homewrecking part.
No, not that. But I'm saying like playing like a role. Like she's. What's her role in there actually? What's she a lawyer?
Let's get that straight.
What's her job?
She's a cleaner, like when all the politicians get in trouble.
Assistant to the president, pretty much.
Oh,
I thought she had like
she's assistant to the president.
Yeah, she's showed doing her job for that. She's well.
No, she's a cleaner, a scrubber. Like so, when the president or the politician. When the politicians like get in trouble, they killed someone.
Oh, they call her
their mistress pregnant. They call Kerry Washington.
Oh, so she cleaned up the mess.
Yeah.
More than one, multiple messes.
Yeah, and then she calls another mess. She causes a mess by cleaning mess.
Causes a mess. Yeah. She's just a mess.
She's just a hot mess.
Hot mess.
Okay, so maybe not to that extreme. Zendaya is definitely Zendaya.
I can't even watch Euphoria because I can't see Zendaya like that.
I can't see anybody portraying children having sex or.
Well, no, I mean Zendaya like.
I like her
Zendaya looks like a child, so it just like kind of gets me kind of thrown off.
So
sometimes I've known her since Disney Channel, so she looks the exact same. She don't age, you know what I'm saying? But on top of that, she's playing something like with drug addiction and stuff like that. And I don't like seeing her in that light. She's killing the role. I've seen clips and stuff like that. I get it, but I don't want to see her like that. You know what I'm saying? She just seems so innocent to me to now play that role. It just blows me. But I think that's why she did it. Because she was stuck in a box with Disney Channel forever. To make her do that was like a complete 180 for her career. It was like, I'm not just the sweet girl anymore. So I respect her hustle, but I was like, I just don't want to see her like
that. That's another reason why you brought up, doing like little comedy sketches and stuff. Like I used to do that on my social media, but I stopped because just what you said, I don't want to be put in this box. Because are you guys like familiar with like Pretty V, like on social media? Like it's Pretty V, like that light skinned girl.
Yeah.
He said, her.
Yeah.
You see her like funny, goofy type of person. You want to see her like in a civil rights activist movie or something really powerful.
Sure.
I didn't want to be put in that box like starting out, so I was like really cognizant. I was like, okay, I don't want to be put in this box, so I want to be like have my roles taken a little bit more serious, so I'm going to stray away from that. Can I still do these comedic roles like goofy? Sure, of course. Like whatever, I'll dabble in that, but that's not what I want to really base my career or brand myself as. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Lacey, I mean, I know we tried. I know we tried the first time to segue you out. Look at this. Look at this. She said, "I'm getting drunk." There's nothing, bro. She took like a sip or two. Like there's. Just take that with you when you like. She's not gonna drink it.
I'm leaving. It's been swell.
Appreciate you, Lex.
It's not swell.
She's cut off. Like she can't even drink a half a drink. So, as we think about influencers, the power of influence, it's just something that I personally feel does not hold. People don't understand the weight that they hold. They have the impact of someone's attention. They have the power to change minds. They have the power to motivate. They have the power, and some people have these, and I'm not really envious of anybody that has that influence, you know what I'm saying? But it's just more of the fact of, when you are using your power and influence for a negative light and you're not using it to inspire and instead just using it for your own personal gain, that's my own personal issue with influence. And so do you feel like, is your aspiration to eventually become an influencer when it comes to like modeling, acting, and your social media presence? Like what, if you do, what is the brand that you want to create as far as being an influencer?
So let me ask you, when you say influencers kind of use their image and their platform for something negative, give me an example of like what would be negative to you? Because what's negative to you might not be negative to me.
So, I mean, and I'm only based off of what I've seen, when it comes to some people that, maybe use it to pass judgment on other people, to, spread like political,
like diversity,
like lack of facts when it comes to politicals, you know what I'm saying? Like to cause a narration just to get somebody uproared up. Like it's a form of journalism when you try to make that, but it's not honest journalism. When it comes to, just airing out things that are unnecessary. It's just for natural attention and not for
something good or positive.
Just like, does it have a ulterior motive? Like what is the point of me clicking on your screen compared to somebody else's?
Okay. No. So to answer the question of like my goal is to become an influencer, the answer is no. Because I think, not that the word influencer itself is bad, but I've seen good and bad influencers. But I think what sticks with me, and it really sticks with a lot of people, are the negative connotations of an influencer. So it's like, okay, you're using your platform to sell sex or to do X, Y, and Z. That's not necessarily something that I agree with. So it kind of just put a bad taste in my mouth altogether about influencers. Now, like I said, there are good influencers, but influencers, I feel like they only have so much pull. Like, we'll take like a comedian, like an Instagram comedian, for example. I don't consider those as influencers. Those are someone who creates content, creates videos for the purpose of entertainment. Those aren't necessarily influencers. People, dressing up in clothes and doing, whatever, and selling sex on the internet, those would be considered influencers, but that's not a good influencer to me. It's like, okay.
I would disagree just from the simple fact that like comedians again have the power of attention. So whatever comes out of their mouth could influence someone for the positive or negative. Some comedians are in trouble when it comes to their influence because they don't have a filter. So therefore, when you start talking about sexual orientations or start talking like making jokes about it, or it just only gives the power, influence, or attraction in a negative light because maybe someone is going to be feeling the opposite, and it's going to lead to you maybe getting canceled if that's the case may be. But it's just again, like I said, like you have to be okay with. You have to figure out the goal of why are you creating this page, and if it's just for yourself, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But also know that other people are watching, and you never know what 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 15-year-old, someone who's depressed, someone that's going through some stuff, and then you put something negative or judgmental on the page, and then they just feel like they're second guessing themselves, or you're influencing them to be judgmental, you're influencing them to be, when you can use that same power to be motivational, funny, hilarious. You can do all that at the same time without.
And you know what? I kind of have a good example of this because, like you said, some people influence or use their platform or their influencing to for entertainment of themselves, not for anybody else, not to motivate, inspire, do anything else for anybody else's children, because at the end of the day, that's not my job to do. Yeah. Because I actually saw this, this post with Cardi B. Someone was going off on Cardi B about their 9 or 10-year-old daughters are being influenced by her. They're like, well, why does your daughter have an Instagram? That's not my job. I create this content for people who are like-minded, cash, money, sex, or whatever it is, or
right.
Whatever it is. I create my content for myself because this is what I like.
This is my life.
This is my life. So it's like, at that point, can you necessarily blame them for putting that out, whether it is positive or negative? Because like I said, people who agree with, for example, like how Cardi B decides to live her life may not be how a 9-year-old who decided to, look up to Cardi B be something that they need to be influenced
Cardi
by.
would definitely, defense would be why, definitely blame the parent. Like, you're giving them this access without parental control. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making my content and just made it to you. And I mean, sure, I definitely understand that. It's just more of the fact. And I think that Cardi she's hood famous. Like, that's different. Like, she's hood famous. We understand that demographic.
Her as an example.
Yeah,
but
like her demographic, we know what that is. For someone that is not as the stature of a
celebrity
or a celebrity, you know what I'm saying? Just like your average Joe that actually has like 3 million
So then would you say then anybody could be technically an influencer then that has a social media following, whether big or small?
I absolutely think so, but there are bigger influencers and there, definitely understand that. Yeah. As far as your social media presence, where do you see it going if it was, a year from now or 2 years from now?
Oh man. So I actually kind of like my Instagram all over, but I'm very,
I just did that.
Really?
I restarted my grid. So when I hit you up, I had one post.
I saw that.
She's like, man, this man is fake.
This has to be a scam.
But I wanted to redo my grid. So like, I wanted all my motivational content in the middle and then pictures on the outside. So that's why I did that.
Okay. See, this is what that marketing and researching and stuff, bro, it plays a lot. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does.
In the next couple of years, I'm really cognizant of the type of content I post, because what I post is pretty much what people are going to get. So you see smiley, bubbly, you're going to get that. You see someone farting or burping, you're going to get that. Like, you see someone being goofy, silly, I want them to know
as far as the algorithm.
Like...
As far as like the algorithm on Instagram, or like you personally?
Just me personally.
Oh, okay.
Because me personally and kind of me as a brand, it's like, okay, you want me to, show off your shoes or do a post for your clothing line. I'm going to do that stuff, because that kind of aligns with how I present myself. Now doing, let's say, OnlyFans stuff, I've had people ask me do porn, all types of crazy.
I can imagine your pops watching this show, be like, "Yeah, let's get to the OnlyFans."
My dad, he doesn't know what OnlyFans is. I actually asked him last night. I was like, "Dad, you got an OnlyFans?" He's like, "What's the OnlyFans?"
Only who?
He's like, "No, what's that?" I was just like, "Oh gosh."
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
don't
worry, you don't need to know. But in the next couple of years, I see it really progressing. As far as followers, as far as
what's your goal?
Who I'm able to engage. I would say 10 right now is like the
in 2
goal.
years or in one?
For 10? 1 year for 10, but 2 years, I'm going to try and say 15. Say 15. 2 years, 15. Mark my words. 15.
It's on the record.
I'm going to go back to this video. I'm sitting at 4,000 followers, like with tears rolling down my eyes.
It's going to be a GoFundMe. Like, hey man, help us get Auset to 10K.
You got this.
Yeah.
But I plan on being at a totally different place, in 1 to 2 years. In all honesty, especially with me moving to California, training super duper hard with my acting career. So I know for a fact I'll be able to obtain it. Yeah. So I'm not worried about that.
When it comes to social media following, for me, it's not something that is very, important. You know, obviously when it comes to, you know, personal endeavors and entrepreneurship, there's 3 qualities that kind of come in conflict with it. You know, when you come to your financial aspect and people outside advice and, you know, social media comes in prevalent, outside sources, you know, you have to stay true to your brand. And I felt like I got outside of that. And when it comes to, back then I was like, oh yeah, I got to get myself to 10,000 followers. I got to do this, I got to do that, and spend all this time that I got away from the mission. And right now I'm just like okay with like impacting 2 people, 3 people. Hey man, like I love what you're doing. It makes me feel good if I just hear it from 3 people, rather than it being for 500, because I ain't gonna realize all 500. You know, I ain't gonna read all 500.
When did you find out that you were actually getting kind of strayed away from your mission, as you were saying? Because I think a lot of us, like, who are trying to gain that following and get that exposure, you know, for our entrepreneurship, we get carried away by not getting the followers, the views, the likes, the comments, or whatever, and we get drawn away from our vision. So how did you find yourself, or like really catch yourself, like, actually I'm getting straight away from my vision?
No, I mean, it's just, I can give an example. I mean, I used to be on radio back home, and I had a family member that kind of was very vocal on how he saw my show going. He wanted to turn it into something that was more political or something in those lines, and I was just like, I wanted to give young adults a voice, so I brought like someone who was 17 to 20 something up there just to all speak about these issues, and I started taking the advice, and then I wasn't getting the results that I was getting before. Like, there wasn't many people listening. It wasn't as many people, you know, that kind of related, because my demographic wasn't towards the person that was
telling you that
information. He was way older than me, so like, it wasn't my demographic was to people my age. So getting advice, like, you have to be careful who you get the advice from, because you need to remember who your demographic is. You need to remember who you're trying to impact. And then when it came to financial things, it was like, you know, I'm bringing artists in, and they're like, oh yeah, like, you need to charge to get the interviews and yada, yada, yada. But it's like, okay, like, I mean, cool, that's a good hustle. It's illegal. Right. It's illegal to do for radio. Oh, is it? You can't charge to get like radio play. You know what I'm saying? That's illegal.
I thought that was like how it goes.
It's illegal.
You know things that I don't know.
Yeah, it's payola. You know what I'm saying? You can't pay for radio plays. Oh. You also can't play the same song multiple times in a row. You know, you don't never see Drake played 6 times in a row. Many times as you hear Drake on rotation, the same song over and over again, you don't hear 4 or 5 Drake songs in a row because it's illegal.
So rotation is not the same as play after play?
No, because you don't hear Drake back to back to back. You hear Drake every hour.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that makes sense.
But someone was like, yeah, you need to do that. And, you know, as much as I thought about it, and it was very tempting to do, you know, I had to make the decision not to, because of the fact that, like, I like the genuine interaction with people. And I like it made me feel like most people, when those people, like artists and entrepreneurs, came on my show, they kind of looked up to me like a person that was up in the community of like, oh yeah, like, he's going to help. Why would I charge this person to do it if I genuinely cared about their personal development and their career? So, you know, you just have to be very careful, and you will get all these roadblocks that will walk into your entrepreneurship, whether you're a TikToker or you're on the radio or you're on this podcast. Someone's gonna walk up and give you an idea. And sometimes you may feel like they're a little more wise, but they're not. You know, I mean, they are wise, but they're not wise to your circumstance. They didn't do exactly what you've done. They just have an idea. All ideas are not good ideas.
So how would you then take social media, like, managers or content managers? Do you feel like they know what your brand needs? Because I've had, you know, many of people tell me, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm just like, you don't see the vision that I have, so you wouldn't understand my hustle and why I'm doing it this way. And that's, of course, it angers them, because they're like, you're not doing it the way that I like it. But would you say that they are really important or really necessary to
social media managers?
Yeah, to really growing.
They're very important, because they're more knowledgeable than you are about algorithms and things like that. But I mean, I can relate this to personal experience. Like, you know, I give a lot of credit to my social media manager and, you know, even my outside friends, because they know my mission. They're involved. They sit in the back. They know exactly what I'm looking for. So you have that
connection. You already let them know, like, your mission.
I like to have personal friendships with the people that I work with, because they know where I'm trying to go. They can't steer me a certain way, because this is how I am. You know what I'm saying? And if someone does not feel heartfelt about how I feel it's just like another transaction, we can't work together because it's all money. You know, if you personally feel like you connect to my brand and connect to outsiders and want to outreach to other people, you're gonna be like, yo, like, I got ideas, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if it doesn't align, then we'll say, yo, scratch that out, that's not gonna work. But they still have that passion to keep moving forward. Some people are just like, oh yeah, like I'm just make these posts and that's just what it is, you know, or I know the algorithm and I can just do this business-wide for you and I have 30 other accounts
to manage.
Yeah, it's like you don't have the passion for mine. Like then if I'm just another number, you know what I'm saying? Like someone who connects to outsiders, the lounge, closely that can take a passion. If you don't relate, then I mean I can do this on my own. I can figure this out on Google.
Dang,
you know
we're trying to find a good quality manager. Now you kind of just brought something up to me. It's like you have to really find someone who's not just doing this as a transaction, but they're doing that because they believe in your vision and your mission. Wow.
You know, the guest last week was amazing because Shelby was saying that she started acting, at 12, 11 years old, and she had all these managers coming in and she did not pick one until someone actually connected to her personally. Like she was going to bat for her, getting these gigs because she cared about her. You just get a manager, they just gonna book the stuff for you and that's it. But if you personally care, because they obviously get a cut off of each gig.
Exactly.
But if they personally care about what you do, then you believe in them, you believe in their abilities, you believe that you can have an input. You know what I'm saying? Like with a social media manager with me, like I need to give creative ability as well. Like, hey, like this is not what I like, or this is not what goes in my brand, and I can trust, like, oh yeah, like I understand that. I'll give you something different next week. Rather than, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't disrespect me. I do that. You know what I'm saying?
Not you don't disrespect me.
Don't disrespect me just saying like, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing because you studied it. It has articles out there just as much as anybody else, and you can inform me that something's not gonna work based off of data, but not saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Because I can learn. Just teach me. You know what I'm saying? I'm open book. So you know,
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Dang. Social media and its presence today, boy, I tell you, it makes or breaks relationships. But I think it's something that everyone kind of needs.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs a little bit of something, or at least knowing how to, because we're going to a more digital world.
Yeah, we're getting into metaverse really soon, you know.
Oh, Lord. The things I've heard about metaverse, don't get me started.
People gonna be, forget Tinder. We're gonna start,
Tinder,
we're gonna start dating in the metaverse. We're like, yo, let's set up this little date where we just talk in the metaverse rather than physically.
If people actually do, I wish somebody would ask me on a date on the metaverse. If you think
it's not gonna happen, it's going to happen.
Those are freaks and weirdos. I'm sorry.
And somebody's gonna be desperate enough to go on that date. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just the issue when it comes to.
Hey, that's a good idea for sugar babies.
Stop.
I'm joking.
I bet I seen no 70-year-old man in the metaverse.
Oh my gosh.
But when it comes to, social media, it's just like it gets us out of touch. Social media is what you talked about dating on the first episode, where it's like it's so based off of convenience that we're so out of touch with genuine interactions. I said that today. Connection. So like if we're gonna go on a date, we need to physically have a conversation. If I want to get to know Auset, come on the studio, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Or let's set up a call, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? But we don't do that anymore. It's like, oh, we're so busy. Hit me in the DM. Oh, I'm so busy. Schedule this, schedule that. I'm just like, look, man, like either you want to connect or you do not. And there are people out here that genuinely care about making connections, genuinely care about developing themselves, genuinely care about input. And it's your job to make a decision to say, I'm either going to make an impact or I'm not.
Point, period.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.